At just 33, Kelley Mack's reel was getting louder. The Walking Dead, Chicago Med, indie features, national spots. Then a rare diagnosis stepped into the frame, the kind that doesn't ask permission and doesn't keep to a schedule. Her family says she passed on August 2nd in Cincinnati, with her mother and aunt at her side. Today is about the person, the work, and the warning signs she wanted people to take seriously. Fans woke up to tributes that felt less like news and more like notes to a friend. This isn't a rumor story, it's a reminder story about listening early and showing up for people when it counts. You might know her as Addie in The Walking Dead, Season 9, brief arc, big presence. She also appeared in Chicago Med and 911, and on the film side in Broadcast Signal Intrusion. Industry write-ups note she wasn't just acting, she produced, wrote, and did VO, with dozens of screen credits stacking up fast. That momentum shows what the illness interrupted but never defined. Casting directors talked about focus, fans talked about warmth. That's a combination you can't fake. Even in small scenes, she knew how to land a moment and leave a ripple. Months before the diagnosis, she described persistent lower back pain and sharp shooting sensations in her legs and back. In January 2025, she shared the name, diffuse midline glioma, a rare tumor of the central nervous system. She explained it in plain words so fans could follow, turning a private battle into public awareness. That level of candor takes energy most people don't have when they're scared. It also gave people a vocabulary to ask better questions at their own appointments. Her update was unflinching. After a biopsy on her spinal cord, she lost the use of one leg and most of the other, getting around with a walker and a wheelchair. Treatments rearranged everything: mobility, routines, the tools she needed just to move through the day. Even so, those close to her kept describing light, humor, and craft first. Illness changes pace, but it doesn't erase identity, and she keeps choosing to be more than a diagnosis. Friends say the set might have shifted, but the artist didn't. The family's statement didn't start with credits. It called her a bright, fervent light, confirming her passing on August 2nd, and shared plans for a recognition and remembrance on August 16 in Glendale, Ohio, with a Los Angeles celebration to follow. Simple, specific details offered so people could mourn without rumor filling the gaps. They kept the tone gracious and direct, which is harder than it looks when grief is loud. If you post about her, echo their details so the signal stays clean. Obituaries and profiles point out the arc behind the headline. 35 acting credits and multiple producing credits, plus commercial work for major brands and a growing footprint in indie film. She studied cinematography at Chapman University, then spent the last decade working in Los Angeles, shifting between both sides of the camera. That versatility is why colleagues say sets felt better when she walked on. People trusted her because she spoke actor and crew fluently. That kind of range keeps paying dividends long after the wrap party. Newsrooms leaned on the medical basics so people wouldn't have to guess. Diffuse midline glioma, DMG, sits in the brain or spinal cord, and it's rare and aggressive. Treatment can include surgery when possible, radiation, chemo, and targeted meds, but outcomes vary widely. Everyone's path looks different, which is why blanket timelines hurt more than they help. The safest move is simple. Read reputable resources and talk to a clinician who knows your history. Fans kept returning to her Walking Dead run. Not the most screen time, but a presence you notice. That's a reputation you earn on set. Prepared, generous, easy to work with, and it shows up years later in how people talk about your scenes. Tributes from colleagues read like postcards, grateful, specific, and focused on who she was between takes as much as what she did on camera. You see it in comments too. People rewatching, pulling lines, remembering tiny choices. Small roles don't stay small when an actor makes them feel lived in. Here's the clean timeline repeated across reputable outlets. Diagnosis shared publicly in January 2025. Passing on August 2nd, 2025 in Cincinnati. Remembrance on August 16th in Glendale, Ohio, with a later LA celebration for friends and colleagues. These aren't just calendar notes. They're anchors for anyone posting, sharing, or organizing tributes. Keep them accurate. Keep the focus where the family put it. Precision is respect. It also stops the copy-paste rumor mill before it starts. Most of us downplay pain, We call it a chair problem, old injury, or just stress. Her January post cut through that habit. Persistent pain plus shooting sensations deserved real answers, not wishful thinking. If even one person fast-tracks a scan because of her story, that's an impact that outlives a credit list. Pain is data. Treat it like information, not an inconvenience. Advocate for yourself even when it feels awkward. Beyond the franchises, she stacked indies and short films. Balancing day player TV with genre projects, and even voice-matching Gwen Stacy for Into the Spider-Verse. It's the career shape you see from builders. People who learn every corner of a set and keep adding tools. Profiles note she loved hiking, piano, and traveling, which is exactly how her friends describe her. Curious and in motion. Curiosity is a career strategy. It keeps doors opening that most people don't know exist. That's how you end up with a filmography that reads like Range. Grief online moves fast. The family gave clear information. Stick to it. Quote the statement, cite the date, and resist filling blanks with maybe. When you share, add context and a resource so the conversation helps someone. Amplify the family's voice over the loudest timeline. If her work meant something to you, keep it in circulation. Rewatch, share, amplify the indie projects she helped make. If her health updates taught you something, pass that forward, especially to anyone sitting on unexplained symptoms. You don't need the perfect thread to help. You just need to hit send. If you're able, consider supporting reputable brain tumor research or patient assistance groups. And if not, a kind message to someone dealing with a hard diagnosis goes farther than you think. Kelley Mack's story isn't a mystery to solve. It's a reminder to show up for your health, your people, and your craft. Remember the dates, remember the roles, and maybe book that checkup you've been dodging. Her family called her a bright, fervent light. Keep that phrase with you. Let it nudge you toward empathy and early action. That's how a legacy keeps working after the credits roll.